What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and this T.I. and 50 Cent beef has gotten worse as 50 Cent has announced that he is working on a documentary deep diving into T.I. and Tiny's past. For those that don't know, 50 and T.I. have gone back and forth. I'm not going to go into the details. His kids got involved, so on and so forth. There was disrespectful things said on both ends with their kids, putting 50 Cent's dead mother on a t-shirt, 50, making fun of T.I.'s wife, Tiny, with bad photos of her. Back and forth, and this past couple of days, T.I. has gone back on a promo run to promote his single and his album. And while doing this promo run, of course, he got asked about the beef with 50 and the 4 diss tracks he dropped, and his sons getting involved, dropping their own diss tracks. So with that promo run, him mentioning 50's name again, 50 doesn't like that. So of course, 50 has now responded to all those interviews where he's mentioning 50's name. 50 was quiet, during this little promo run that T.I. had. He hadn't said anything. And while T.I. was doing this promo run, there had been fake reports that 50, is working on a documentary relating to T.I. and Tiny's past. And it wasn't confirmed. There's some reports that reported it, but nothing was officially confirmed. And this morning, 50 confirmed that he is working on a documentary. He posted it on his Instagram page, and then he deleted it. So let's go over it. So 50 posted a photo of a news report saying 50 Cent reportedly developing a surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary. In the caption, he said, "Remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc? Dame thought I wasn't coming. I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour. They're going to ask about your 20 assault cases. You might want to talk to a crisis PR person." And under that, he commented, "New music today," with a bunch of clapping. Basically, I think the new music thing is just him trolling, saying, I'm not going to release new music. I'm just, playing into what people want me to do and go into the booth. But he's saying, this is my version of releasing music. I'm going to be working on a T.I. and Tiny documentary. Now, let's go over briefly of what these T.I. and Tiny allegations were. They first popped up in 2021, and I reported on them back then. And T.I. ended up responding with music and, his own video on Instagram, basically saying, hey, anything that we did with adults were consenting adults, and nothing else happened. Let's go over a little bit of what happened. The initial allegation started in 2021. The first person was in January, and it was Sabrina Peterson, a former friend of the couple, posted anonymous allegations on Instagram accusing the Harrises of assaulting women. Lawyer letters and multiple accusers started coming between February and March of 2021. Attorney Tyrone A. Blackburn reported that more than 30 people, women and men, contacted him regarding eerily similar experiences of abuse, forced ingestion of, and kidnapping. The accusations spanned over 15 years, with incidences allegedly occurring in Georgia, California, and Florida. Then a 2005 Los Angeles hotel case popped up with an Air Force veteran claiming she was assaulted by T.I. and Tiny in a hotel room after meeting them at a club. Then a 2010 Las Vegas case popped up, filed with the Las Vegas police in May of 2021, alleging a 2010 assault. The case was closed due to statute of limitations. So with that being said, statute of limitations is there's a specific time frame in which you can claim somebody did, sexual assault to you. And once that time frame goes away, you can't, claim that, or at least prosecute them for it. So that doesn't mean that the person's innocent or guilty. It just means that time has passed and there's nothing you can do about it now. Basically saying, hey, you should have reported this around this specific time frame, or, you can't report it anymore. So continuing on, a 17-year-old intern incident in 2006, one accuser claimed that Tiny offered her alcohol and pills when she was 17-year-old intern at their studio in 2006, after which she passed out and woke up from her, what. The graphic details are the hotel room assault in 2005 with a 2024 lawsuit. A Jane Doe lawsuit filed in January 2024 detailed that Tiny pinned the accuser down on the bed while T.I. proceeded to slide his toes into the plaintiff's you-know-what. Another one is forced acts. Accusers claim they were forced to take and forced to engage acts with couples or other women. Here are some of the legal proceedings investigations. The 2021 investigations, the Los Angeles Police Department opened a criminal investigation in May of 2021, but in September 2021, prosecutors declined to file charges, citing that the 2005 case fell outside the 10-year statute of limitations. Continuing on, in 2024 civil and lawsuit and dismissal, in January 2024, a Jane Doe filed a new lawsuit under California's Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. In August 2024, a federal judge dismissed this lawsuit, though the accuser was given a chance to amend the complaint. Now, there's California Assault, Abuse, and Cover-Up Accountability. They opened up this 1-year window for any accusers or any, victims to come out and, basically say, hey, this person did this to me. So they had a 1-year window in 2024 to make their claims. And a lot of people came at that time because that's their 1-year window to actually say something about what happened to them in the past. Following through the defamation lawsuit, T.I. and Tiny were sued for defamation by Sabrina in 2021 after they denied her allegations. In October 2023, a judge ordered Peterson to pay over $96,000 for the couple's legal fees after a motion dismissed some of her claims. Basically, the judge said, hey, you don't really have anything here. Now you're forced to pay legal fees because you dragged T.I. and Tiny into this. In those situations, there's really, if there's no solid proof, it's really hard to pin something like that towards somebody. We got to think the Diddy situation only got legs after Cassie came forward, because I'm sure Cassie had a lot of footage, a lot of evidence. And she did. As the trial went on, there were things that just made it very clear, like the Molotov cocktail that got thrown in Kid Cudi's car. Like, there's photos of that. There's specific text messages that prove that put Diddy in that situation, in that place. We obviously saw the CNN video of Diddy stomping out Cassie. So there was a lot more evidence in the Diddy situation. And that's where, with this T.I. and Tiny thing, there has to be evidence. But as I always say, and I've said it before Diddy got accused of all this stuff and before he went to trial and before all the Diddy stuff happened, I always said with Diddy, where there's smoke, there has to be fire. If there is 30 people coming and saying that T.I. and Tiny did something, there's bound one of them to be true. There's no way that just 30 people come out and say, hey, this is what happened. I'm not saying that they are guilty, but where there's smoke, there might be fire. 30 people is a lot of people. There could be 28 of them lying, but there could be 2 that's telling the truth with proof. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that, T.I. and Tiny are guilty, because some of them have been dismissed. Some of these cases have been dismissed. The response from T.I. and Tiny were that they denied, the couple has vehemently denied all accusations, calling them fake and baseless. The consensual agreement, T.I. stated on Instagram that all interactions were with consenting adults. And then obviously T.I. and Tiny's show on VH1 was suspended and no longer came back. So they lost their TV show because of all these accusations. So that's the gist of what's happened with T.I. and Tiny's, accusations over the past 4 to 5 years, from 2021 till now. There's been stuff that's popped up here and there, but there hasn't been anything solid where you can point to and say, hey, they're actually this, they actually did this. With that being said, 50 is probably going to find as much evidence as he can, or he's going to take an approach of listen to the victims and have them be on camera talking about this, because that's more impactful than a lawsuit, because a lawsuit isn't really visual. There's no like emotional attachment to it in terms of the public, not the people involved, but the public. They just see a lawsuit. They really don't see, the victims or anything. They just, read, a bunch of letters like I did here, a bunch of, information. With the documentary, it's a lot more visual. If you have a person go on there and cry and talk about their story and have multiple people do that, it's a lot more impactful. So I think that's the approach 50 is going to take. And there's been a lot of documentaries that have accused people of stuff without very solid evidence. But because those people get on camera and talk about the stuff, it's way more impactful. It's just like the Diddy Netflix doc. When you had the people actually going on there and talking about it, it hit a lot, harder than just the lawsuits that happened. With that being said, though, some of these cases is statute of limitations where nothing can be done because all this time has happened. Some of these cases actually got dismissed and there was not enough evidence or proof that T.I. and Tiny did anything. So it's in between with the T.I. and Tiny thing. There isn't really, there's some that say, hey, the statute of limitations, but there's something there. And there's some that say, hey, these got dismissed. It is what it is. We're moving forward. So I don't know. Only time will tell what is true and what isn't. But 50 is taking the route of, hey, I'm a filmmaker now. I'm not a rapper. I'm going to go and work on this documentary and expose you guys and, put more things to light. I don't know what to make of it. We'll see what happens as time goes on. I'm sure T.I. is going to respond to this. I'm sure his sons are going to respond to this. I'm sure even Tiny's going to respond to this. They're not going to be happy with 50 doing this post and delete stuff and basically trolling at the end of the day. He is trolling still. And we'll see, man. Maybe something will come out of it. Maybe something won't. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Obviously, as the years go on, the truth always comes out in these situations of who's telling the truth, who's not. But yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think.